What's good, YouTube? It's Justice I Used to Be Pay, and today I'm back with another video. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about the gradual acceptance of Tyler the Creator. But before I get into that, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Do all those things. It helps me out a ton. Tyler the Creator just dropped his newest album, Chromakopia, and this has been the talk of the town in music. This is one of the biggest albums in hip hop of the year, not just in hip hop and rap, but in music in general. This album just sold almost 300K first week, and it wasn't even dropped on a Friday. It was dropped on a Monday morning. So he missed out on a couple of days of sales going into that Friday, but still got nearly 300K in the first week. This has been Tyler's most commercially successful album, at least up until this point. Who knows? Maybe it falls off completely in the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever. But in comparison to his previous work, it's easily the most commercially successful album. And this album really has the entire rap culture paying attention. The entire culture. Everyone is having conversations about Tyler and this album, whether it's the best of the year, whether he's better than so-and-so or so-and-so. People are having real conversations about Tyler the Creator in comparison to the rest of the game. And that isn't something that's always happened. First and foremost, let's talk about Chromakopia, because I believe that this is another great album for Tyler the Creator. The album and what it's able to do artistically and theme-wise is something that nobody else, at least in the mainstream rap space, can do right now. Tyler's doing stuff that nobody's really doing anymore. The last person you might be able to compare him to is like maybe Kanye in like 2016 with The Life of Pablo. But besides that, he's really the only one that's kind of making these albums feel like eras and moments while you're still living in them, which is a really cool thing to do, because a lot of the times people will look back on eras of music and be like, that was really fun. But Tyler makes you feel the era in the moment. It feels like a Chromacopia era. It feels like it. You can look back and say, oh my gosh, CLB with Drake was really fun, but that wasn't really an era. That's just kind of when the music came out. This is an era. And what he's able to do in terms of the music on this project, the production, the rapping, pretty much everything fits really, really well together. Even some of the features fit really, really well together. I think that what he's able to do in terms of making his albums artistic projects rather than just solely focusing on, the bars sometimes or trying to get commercial hits also are what make his albums so great. Another reason why Tyler the Creator's music is so great to so many people is because of his emotions that he puts into his music. He puts his real lived experiences in his music, and that vulnerability comes off in the music, and people can feel that. They can relate to that. That's why you have songs on here like Him, which is probably going to end up one of the most popular songs from this project, because a lot of people can relate to exactly what he's trying to orchestrate throughout the song and throughout this album. But overall, I think that this is one of the best albums of the year, and it just goes to show how great Tyler the Creator really is. But what's so crazy about this album and everything surrounding it to me is the media coverage, and that's because the media coverage for this album has been really good. Like, really good. Everyone's talking about it. Every media page, every rap media personality has talked about Tyler the Creator and this album, including the ones that normally wouldn't talk about him. Somebody like Academics, somebody like Joe Budden. These people are talking about Tyler the Creator, and it's not just for like, one throwaway sentence to be like, oh yeah, I heard that Tyler album was really good. I listened to a couple songs. It was cool. Like, they're actually talking about Tyler the Creator and his music and like breaking down people's thoughts and breaking down other stuff. Like, all of these media pages are actually giving a lot of recognition to Tyler the Creator. Now, I'm not saying that he needs Academics, Joe Budden, or, complex media to cover him in his music and his career. He doesn't need that, obviously, but it's just so crazy to see them actually cover it now, because for so long, he's been like the redheaded stepchild of rap and hip hop. He's just been like that guy that nobody really talks about, even though he's really, really good and he has this massive fan base. He was just a name that people just didn't really say. Whenever these hip hop media sources and people were having conversations, whenever Complex or Say Cheese, even like the independent media, Say Cheese, Vlad, whenever these people were having their conversations about rapper of the year and who had the best album of the year and talking about some of the greatest rappers of this generation, Tyler was a name that was never brought up. And I don't even think it was a name that wasn't brought up because they didn't think he was good enough. It was just because like they just didn't talk about him. They didn't pay any attention to him. And so now to see all these media pages and all of these people start to talk about Tyler the Creator consistently, not just a throwaway name when, oh yeah, Tyler dropped an album, I'm sure it's cool, go check it out. Or, maybe Rap TV would post like, oh yeah, shout out to Tyler the Creator, he just dropped an album. Now he's a name that they're actually talking about and actually having discussions about. And it's not because these people love Tyler the Creator so much and these media sources are so hip to him now and they like his music. It's because they have to. They have to talk about Tyler the Creator. That's the only reason they're doing it right now. Because if you don't talk about Tyler the Creator, you're like, what are you doing? Are you even a rap media page? Are you even a rap media personality? What do you know about the space if you're not at least bringing his name up and giving him multiple minutes of your time when you're breaking down hip hop in the modern scene? You just look like you don't know what you're doing. If you've been covering hip hop for however long this entire time and this album comes up and you don't talk about it, you just clearly aren't really a big fan of hip hop in general. Right? So, what Tyler the Creator's been able to do is he's become so undeniable that everyone has to cover him. Everyone has to talk about him. Even if they don't want to, there's no way you can't not talk about Tyler the Creator. You can't do that. That's not a thing anymore. This level of acceptance for Tyler the Creator is brand new. And even like before this album, people still weren't giving him his props in the rap media spaces, the mainstream rap media spaces, the people who had millions and millions of subscribers and were talking about rap all the time. He did not get this acceptance even up until this album, in my opinion. Now, we can go back to Tyler the Creator in the early days, and we can see kind of why, right? Starting off, Tyler the Creator back in the early days, he was saying a lot of crazy stuff. Okay, 10, 12 years ago, he was saying a lot of wild and crazy things. Bro was basically an edgelord, all right? The things that he would say and do were very much the topic of conversation and typically not in a positive way. A lot of his lyrics were super, risky, and he was saying a lot of stuff for shock factor, and people just kind of stayed away from it, especially like media people. They just kind of stayed away from that stuff typically because it was kind of risky to cover. The way that people talk about getting canceled nowadays is the way that people actually treated Tyler the Creator like 10, 12 years ago, right? Like the man was like banned from Australia, New Zealand, and the UK because of the things he was saying and how he was going to start a riot or whatever. Like they were overdoing it, but you understand that the picture that I'm trying to paint at this moment. He was a pretty risky guy in terms of covering him. Now I'm going to generalize here, and I know some people are going to be upset about it, but if you understand where I'm coming from culturally, you'll get what I'm saying. I don't think that rap culture, hip hop culture, black culture really is attracted too much to like internet edgelord stuff. Now, I'm not saying that black people can't, be edgy, make edgy jokes, be, making dark humor or whatever. They can't. I'm not saying that they can't do that, but I mean internet edgelord stuff. The type of stuff I'm talking about. That's not really a space that attracts a lot of black people typically because that space isn't really fond of us, if you get what I'm saying. But like Tyler very much kind of resided in an internet edgelord space for a decent portion of like the early parts of his career. And that scared away a lot of like rap culture or hip hop culture and black people and stuff like that. Like not saying he didn't have black fans, but you get what I'm saying. A lot of the hip hop culture wasn't really too interested in what was going on there because that's not a space that's typically for us. And Tyler would also wear some like white boy stuff, which would like make people scared. It still scares people to this day for some reason, which I don't get. But like overall, back 10 to 12 years ago, what you expected out of the average Tyler the Creator fan was like some chronically online Reddit user. That's kind of what people expected out of Tyler the Creator fans back 10, 12 years ago. And I know that the black fans of Tyler the Creator who like identify as like blurs are going to be really upset that I'm saying this, but like that's just kind of the case. Like a lot of black people were kind of spooked by everything that Tyler did, some of the stuff with the imagery. Like people were just kind of spooked by that. And so they stayed away. I'm sorry, blurs. I understand. I'm not saying Tyler the Creator is not black. And if you do certain things, if you're an edgelord, you can't be black. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that that's a space that hip hop culture typically tends to stay away from. And there's no denying that a majority of Tyler the Creator's fan base, even to this day, is white. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing because every rapper that's a mainstream rapper, a majority of their fan base is really white, because that's the majority of this country. I'm not like, we're just speaking factually here. Okay. If you're getting upset by me saying that most of his fan base is white, like that's a personal problem. I'm sorry. But back then, it was way more than what it is now. Like the population of black Tyler the Creator fans was pretty low. It was to the point in which like a lot of like, I saw Reddit threads where it's like, how many black fans does Tyler the Creator have? Like, do you know any black Tyler the Creator fans? Like, it was kind of a thing for there to not be a lot of black Tyler the Creator fans. I even remember growing up in like middle school and high school, white kids were trying to put me on to Tyler the Creator. And I was just like, nah, that seems kind of weird. I'm not going to go over there. But that was a thing. Like, Tyler the Creator fans typically were not looking like me. All right. I'm just being real. Musically, Tyler has also been very different from what's going on around him in the rap space. Tyler's been much more artsy and alternative than pretty much anything going on around him in the mainstream space of rap. Tyler the Creator came up around like the early to mid 2010s. And at that time, that is when the trap sound really started to take over rap and take it over and transform it into close to what we saw, not necessarily today, but maybe a couple years ago. Guys like Future, the Migos, and Young Thug really came in and completely transformed really how rap was going to sound in terms of at the top of it, at the top of the charts, selling the most albums. Those guys came in and really transformed and flipped hip hop on its head. And Tyler the Creator was somebody who was outside of that bubble, and culturally a lot of people just really weren't looking for what Tyler was giving. Like, people will talk about, oh man, back in 2015, 2016, 2017, and completely skip over the fact that Tyler has been dropping music and had really big albums in those years, but he wasn't really in the main like zeitgeist of hip hop at that time. And I think it's just also because how different his music was from what else is going on, or what's been going on in the past 10 to 12 years in the music space, in the rap space, I should say. Just to highlight how much the mainstream rap space really was kind of just overlooking Tyler the Creator, he hadn't got a BET Award nomination until 2022. Now, he's been nominated for like BET Hip Hop Awards, but nobody cares about the BET Hip Hop Awards. That's always been a little step bro to the BET Awards. The BET corporation doesn't even care about the BET Hip Hop Awards. They literally just threw it in a club. But like, he hadn't been nominated for the BET Awards up until 2022. Now, the BET Awards have no value anymore, but back in the early mid 2010s, there was some sort of value there. There was some sort of reflection of what was actually going on in the rap space. And the fact that he hadn't gotten a single nomination up until 2022 shows that the culture, rap culture, hip hop culture, wasn't really paying him any attention or showing him any love or really accepting him in. He was kind of, again, pushed off to the side, kind of like the redheaded stepchild. He was Harry Potter. Go stay in your cupboard below the stairs. Tyler the Creator has been dropping great albums throughout his whole career, and it wasn't, Cherry Bomb or Flower Boy that really got that attention on him or that acceptance from the rap community. Funnily enough, I really do believe that the moment where Tyler full and well kind of got the acceptance of the rap community was the album Igor. And I think it's funny because Igor's not a rap album. There's rapping in Igor, but that's not a rap album. But for some reason, that was the album where kind of the entire rap collective went, oh, okay, he really is that good. Like, oh, okay, like the people who were off the side telling us, hey man, you're missing out, they were actually talking about something. And it's not like, again, Tyler the Creator was a small artist. He's always been a very big artist. He just wasn't really accepted into the cool kids club. That's never really been a thing for him up until Igor. That was the album where even like the rap caviar listeners who don't listen to anything besides Lil Baby, Lil Durk, and Drake were like, oh, okay, like this guy's nice. Like, no, he's actually really good. Like, he actually is as great as some people make him out to be. And even for me personally, this was the moment with Tyler the Creator where I completely flipped and jumped on the bandwagon. I'm not going to lie, because before that, I had heard some Tyler the Creator and I liked some stuff, but I was never fully invested in that. I was just kind of like, that's that weird, like, edgy internet white boy who might say the N-word's just a word, like, why are you getting upset type of music. And I was completely wrong, 100%. That was just me making assumptions based off random people saying random stuff. I was wrong in saying that. But even for me, when I heard Igor, I was like, okay, this guy's legit. And then I went back and listened to his entire discography and I was like, oh, okay, so I've been missing on this for a really long time. Because I had heard songs like She and stuff like that in Yonkers, and those are good songs. They were cool, but I never took the time to actually look into his discography until Igor. And it's just so funny because this was kind of the moment where everyone in the rap bubble, from underground listeners who only listen to some people you've never heard of in your life, Lil X0555 on SoundCloud, and all the way at the top listeners who only listen to Drake and Lil Baby and Future, were like, okay, like this guy's legit. He's amazing. And what I also think made people pay a little bit more attention to him and accept Tyler the Creator more was the fact that rap as a genre has gotten more and more accepting to alternative sounds since 2016. People can come in with these crazy sounds and they can actually be mainstream successful. They're not going to be stuck to just being an internet legend or a SoundCloud legend. They can actually be guys who sell over 100K, 200K, 300K first week and be accepted by the wider rap community. And another thing that also played a factor in this, in my opinion, is the DJ Khaled beef over the #1 album.
I gotta say this too. I make albums so people can play it and you actually hear it. You know, driving your car, you hear another car playing it. You know, go to the barbershop, you hear them playing it. You know, turn the radio on and you hear them playing it. You know, it's playing everywhere. It's called great music. It's called albums that you actually hear the songs. Not no mysterious shit and you never hear it. On your dome.
Khaled being so upset that Tyler beat him for that #1 spot with Igor and calling Tyler's music so mysterious and weird and music you don't hear when you go outside. He makes music that people hear, was a moment that made a lot of headlines and got a lot of those media people that I was talking about earlier in this video to actually start covering Tyler the Creator and say, hold on, okay, well, Khaled's mad because his album didn't go #1. Why is he so upset? Oh, it's because Tyler the Creator. It made them actually have to pay attention to Tyler the Creator. They can't just skip over the fact that he just sold 170K first week. They had to start talking about it. And this moment also kind of made a lot of people really support Tyler the Creator, even if they didn't in the past, because a lot of people really don't like DJ Khaled, especially because a lot of the times his albums feel really fake. Like it really feels very manufactured, very fake. And oftentimes, I'm gonna be honest, Khaled, even though you do get a lot of like features from everybody, they be giving you some mid. Khaled gets features from everybody, but they do be giving him a lot of mid features. I can't lie. A lot of mid verses. But this was a moment where people felt like real music beat fake music. And also people just don't like DJ Khaled as well. And so it was kind of like, why is DJ Khaled so mad? I don't like him, so let me go check out this other side. And then people started to really get behind Tyler and this whole #1 album thing. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that DJ Khaled put on Tyler the Creator because that would be like the dumbest thing that anyone could say. I'm saying that this was kind of the marker of a moment where it was undeniable with Tyler the Creator. You can't ignore him anymore. You can't not accept him anymore. That was kind of it was already a thing that was happening, but this was a specific moment tied to the fact that, hey, he's here. Tyler's arrived. You can't ignore him. You can't push him into the corner anymore. You can't push him into the cupboard under the stairs anymore. You have to talk about him. You have to address that elephant in the room. So this was the moment that was tied to this overall sentiment of Tyler really just becoming undeniably that good and undeniably that big. He was winning so much that you can't ignore it. You have to jump on the bandwagon. Now we get to the modern day where Tyler is pretty much widely accepted by the overall rap community, and Chromakopia is in conversations for a rap album of the year already, and it's been out for like, what, a week and a half now? And we get to some really interesting narratives and comparisons for Tyler the Creator because for so long, he was never really compared to any of these guys in rap who are actually his peers. He was never really compared to these dudes. The main narrative as of right now is like Tyler the Creator should be in the big three and not J. Cole, even though this goes against the big three because the big three was just the three guys who were traditional rappers who were going to be stars that were going to take the genre into the future. And this was established in the early 2010s. I don't care. You can't change up the big three. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. I don't care what anyone says, but that's just my little personal rant. But if people are, saying Tyler that should be in the big three, I'm not mad at that. I understand where they're coming from. But right now, Tyler is in these talks. He's in these narrative points, and that's never really been a massive thing for him. Like, he was always just kind of on the outskirts. Back in 2015, people weren't really comparing him on major talking shows to a J. Cole. That was not a thing that was happening. They weren't comparing him to a Drake, to a Kendrick, even though he came up in the exact same era as these guys. He was around when they were around in the beginning. He's never been as big as them, but still, he's been around. He's been in the ecosphere somewhere. He's been floating around there, but he just never was compared to these guys in terms of an actual peer. And I think it's very interesting now that we're going to start seeing people really have these conversations outside of just the people that love Tyler the Creator and have been Tyler the Creator fans since day one. You're going to have Joe Budden start talk about, hey man, where does Tyler the Creator rank all time? Where does he rank? Is he higher than some of these guys in his generation? Is he higher than Future? Is he higher than Young Thug? Does he rank higher than Travis Scott? Does he rank higher than J. Cole? Is his discography better than J. Cole's? These are conversations that people can no longer avoid now. You have to talk about it. This gradual acceptance that's happened, it's over now. The acceptance, the gradual part of it is over. He's accepted now. He's in the space. Now we get to start having these really fun conversations about Tyler the Creator and where he stands, not only in this generation, but just in general as a rapper and as an artist. Over the last 5 years, I'm not sure there's anybody you can compare to Tyler the Creator and tell me they have a better discography than him in rap over the last 5 years. Definitely not Drake, not J. Cole. I wouldn't even say Kendrick. So I think that there are a lot of interesting conversations to really be had now that people finally have accepted Tyler the Creator into the rap hip hop space that these guys are going to have to talk about. Ebro, talk about Tyler the Creator. You're going to have to. All these guys that have been making hip hop and rap content for years, doing their radio show, you now have to acknowledge Tyler the Creator, or that's just a defunct platform. That's just a platform that isn't really tuned into what's going on today. Tyler legitimately has an argument to be the greatest of this generation, or at least one of them, and one of the greatest of all time. And this acceptance of the rap community has put the rap community in a very interesting place when we start talking about Tyler's legacy and where he ranks all time, and comparing him to even other all-time rappers like a Jay-Z or a Wayne or a Kanye, comparing their discographies. These were not conversations that people were having about Tyler the Creator outside of really Tyler the Creator fans. But now they're conversations that you have to have when you're talking about him. You have to. You can't ignore it anymore. And this acceptance and this expanding of the rap community in terms of what they take in, all this new alternative stuff, and that they're allowing to grow and actually thrive, has kind of saved Tyler's career from being one that forever goes under the radar or is underappreciated. Now, that's not me saying, hold on, don't get mad. That's not me saying that he wouldn't have still had great music, because he did. Regardless of any acceptance from the rap community and rap fans and hip hop culture, Tyler was always going to have great music, a huge fan base, and a huge fan base that knows he makes great music. You can never take that away from Tyler the Creator. But there's a very real possibility and a very real scenario where Tyler's career ends and he kind of ends up as a guy kind of like MF Doom, where he has an amazing legacy. He's looked at as a legend, but he never fully got that wide acceptance from the rap community. He never got that full attention on his career. He never really fully got that real flowers. He never got his flowers. That's the best way I can put it. He never really got his flowers in the way that he probably should have. Because MF Doom has great music. People know this. People know MF Doom. But in these all-time discussions in mainstream spaces and media outlets and media personalities, his name doesn't come up. When they're talking about all-time rappers, his name typically doesn't come up. And that's not because he wasn't good enough. It's just because he never got that acceptance. Again, just to be clear, I'm not disrespecting MF Doom. I'm just saying he never fully got that moment of him getting his flowers from the rap community as a whole. He doesn't really get that same love that everyone else does. But it's also just kind of funny that Tyler's least rap album is kind of what got him accepted in Igor, and Chromakopia is another album where he's not really traditionally rapping as much as other albums, but it's an album that everyone in the rap community is loving and enjoying. I just think that's kind of funny. But regardless, if you made it this far into the video, I greatly, greatly appreciate you. If you made it to the end, leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all those things. It helps me out a ton. I hope you have a good day. Be safe, be blessed. If you have anything to say, if you disagree, if you agree, whatever you got to do, put it below in the comments. I want to hear from you. But have a good day. I go by the name of Pay. Peace.